The assassination of Takiji Kobayashi. From poverty to the standard-bearer of proletarian literature. Takiji Kobayashi. His name casts a powerful light and shadow over the history of Japanese literature from the late Taisho to the early Showa period, and over the history of ideological suppression in Japan. Born in 1903 Meiji 36, Takiji was the second son of a poor farming family in Akita Prefecture. When he was 4, his family relocated to Otaru, Hokkaido, to rely on his uncle. With his uncle's assistance, Takiji advanced from Otaru Commercial School to Otaru Higher Commercial School, now Otaru University of Commerce, where he honed his talents. While working as a bank clerk, he devoted himself to literary pursuits. Initially influenced by writers like Naoya Shiga, he quickly developed a deep interest in Marxism and social science, focusing on the realities of labor and agrarian movements. His creative work gradually found its direction in proletarian literature. In the 1920s, Japan was rattled by social anxiety following the Great Kanto earthquake, an economic depression fueled by the global crisis, and recurring agrarian crises, constantly widening the gap between the rich and the poor. Against this backdrop, the Japanese Communist Party, which had been temporarily crushed by suppression, was secretly reconstructed in 1926. The Forbidden Novel and the Shock of The Crab Cannery Ship. In February 1928, Showa III, Japan held its first general election under universal manhood suffrage. Takiji joined a campaign speech team to support the Labor Farmer Party candidates. However, viewing the rise of communist influence in this election as a threat, the government launched the March 15 incident, on the dawn of March 15, arresting some 3,600 people associated with the Communist and Labor Farmer parties nationwide. Over 500 people were arrested in Otaru alone. At the end of that year, Takiji published the novel, March 15, 1928, based on the incident, in the magazine Senki. Despite heavy censorship, deletions, and hidden text, the book was banned. Yet, through secret distribution routes, over 8,000 copies were sold, creating a huge stir and making Takiji's name known nationwide. The following year, 1929, Showa IV, brought forth the masterpiece that would immortalize his name, The Crab Cannery Ship. The Crab Cannery Ship is a powerful novella that vividly depicts the miserable working conditions of laborers on a crab cannery ship fishing near Kamchatka, protected by the Imperial Japanese Navy, and their eventual organized revolt. Immediately after its publication, many writers and critics in the Yomiuri Shimbun hailed The Crab Cannery Ship as the best work of the first half of the year. The book sold an astonishing 35,000 copies, influenced by the social climate of the time. Re-evaluated in the 21st century alongside issues of The Working Poor, the book became a bestseller again, proving the universal and timeless value of its themes. Underground life and intensifying suppression. After publishing The Crab Cannery Ship, Takiji was fired from the Hokkaido Colonial Bank for his involvement in illegal activities. In 1930, he moved to Tokyo as a member of the Japanese Communist Party to lead the proletarian literature movement and the party's cultural activities. However, ideological suppression by the government intensified. Takiji was jailed for 6 months for violating the peace preservation law, and even after his release, he remained under strict surveillance. In April 1932, Takiji, along with other party executives like Kenji Miyamoto, finally went underground. This was a turbulent year marked by assassinations, including former Finance Minister Junosuke Inoue by the Blood Oath League, Mitsui Executive Director Takuma Dan, and Prime Minister Tsuyoshi Inukai by the May 15 incident. Even while in hiding, Takiji moved from address to address, continually publishing novels and essays. To evade police tracking, he had his manuscript fees sent to his mother, who lived in a rented house in Sujinami. While underground, Takiji married Fujiko Shiraishi, who was not a party member. The Tako police learned of the marriage and tried to follow Fujiko to track him down, but he narrowly escaped. Fujiko, however, was arrested and lost her job. Betrayal and arrest. Takiji Kobayashi was a man of strong will, unbreakable by torture, yet he also possessed a childlike side, laughing loudly and joking innocently. His human charisma and personality earned him deep respect from Fujiko and many comrades, allowing him to endure his harsh underground life. However, his life in hiding came to an abrupt end due to a single traitor. On February 20, 1933 Showa 8, Takiji met with members of the Proletarian Writers' League in Akasaka, Tokyo, and was scheduled to meet a man named Tamekichi Mifune, the leader of the Communist Youth League. But the man who appeared at the meeting spot was not Mifune. It was a special hire police Tako detective from the Tsukiji Police Station, replacing Mifune. Mifune had been arrested the previous year and had become a Tako spy. Takiji was immediately taken to the Tsukiji Police Station. The final act of suppression. Upon arrival at the Tsukiji Police Station, Takiji underwent a physical search before being subjected to non-humanitarian interrogation lasting over 3 hours. The Tako police chief at the time was Genki Abe, and his subordinates, the Tako section chief and inspectors, carried out the heinous acts directly. The goal of this oppression was to break the silence of Takiji, the cultural leader of the Communist Party, and destroy the organization. Takiji was tossed into the detention cell, weakened and collapsed from the fierce torture. A fellow inmate noticed the distress and called the guard. The Tako officers also arrived, but Takiji's condition was already critical. He was rushed to Tsukiji Hospital by stretcher, but he died at 7:45 p.m. that evening. He was just 29 years old. The police concealed the fact of his death until the following day and announced the cause of death as heart failure. The body and the mother's cry. The next day, Takiji's body was brought to the home of his mother, Seiki, in Mabashi, Sujinami Ward, Tokyo. Clutching her son's transformed body, Mother Seiki cried out, "It's a lie that he died of a heart attack. The police strangled him." Takiji's body bore painful marks all over, indicating that severe violence had been inflicted upon him. Comrades requested an autopsy to confirm the cause of death, but every university hospital, fearing police pressure, refused. Visitors who came to pay their respects after learning of Takiji's death were successively arrested by the waiting police. The proletarian writer Yuriko Miyamoto was also arrested during her visit and taken to the Tsukiji Police Station. Takiji's funeral was planned for March 15, the anniversary of the March 15 incident. However, on the day itself, the funeral committee chairman and others were arrested by the police, and the funeral itself was cancelled. The death of Takiji Kobayashi became an indelible symbol in history, illustrating the brutal and inhumane nature of the ideological suppression in Japan at that time. His works and his martyr's death remain an unwavering symbol for those who continue to fight for freedom and human rights.